episode 111. Welcome to Style Masterclass, the podcast that teaches women to look stylish and feel confident so that they can show up ready to conquer and slay, no matter what size they are. I'm your host, Miss J. You ready? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Last week's podcast episode was Confidence Equation Part 1. If you haven't listened to that episode yet, I do highly recommend that you go back and listen to it, as it creates sort of a framework for what we're going to talk about in the Confidence Equation Part 2. In the first part, we talked about the first part of the equation, which was capability. Do you believe in your capability? Do you believe in your worth, your value, your gifts, your skills? This week's episode, we're going to talk about the second part of the equation. That's availability. Are you going to avail yourself of all that capability? Meaning, are you going to show up and do the things that you've committed to doing? Are you going to show up and use your gifts, your talents, your abilities in service of others? Are you going to make yourself available? Here's why it's so important. So many of us relish opting out. There's that whole joy of missing out thing. And there's also the fear of missing out. And I think either is not particularly useful. What I do think is useful is learning to exercise your yes or your no more thoughtfully. When you say yes to something, check your motivation for saying yes. Are you showing up and taking opportunities from a place of confidence where you're going to increase your confidence, you're going to exercise it, you're going to put it to use? You have someone you want to serve, you're highly motivated. There's no net negative consequence to you for saying yes and showing up. Then there's the other hand. Are you saying yes because you're afraid of missing out? Are you saying yes because you don't want to be left behind? Are you saying yes out of fear or out of people pleasing? What is the source of your yes when you decide to show up? That's the first thing I want you to check in. The second thing I want you to check in is, are you making excuses for not showing up? That if we were to hold those excuses up to a really bright light, could they stand up? Are you telling yourself, I don't know what to do? But do you really believe that to be true? Or do you know how to do some things but are afraid to do others? If there's multiple steps that have to take place, what steps do you know how to do? At least go do those steps. Are you telling yourself you're confused? But are you really confused or just afraid of the outcome? Those are two totally different things, totally different concepts, right? Is it that you truly don't have the skill or the experience? Don't let that stop you. Go get the skill or the experience, fully expecting it's not going to go perfectly. It doesn't have to. The point of showing up is not for things to go perfectly each time or for things to go easy or smooth. You are merely showing up. You're making yourself available for the sake of it. That is the reward in and of itself. Let that be the thing that you celebrate. I went and took action. Go me. I went and did the thing I always wanted to do. Yes. Woo woo. Go me. That is what we celebrate. The outcome is almost besides the point. It's the taking of the action in and of itself. That is the sweet, juicy reward. So many of us fail to show up or fail to take action because we're afraid of how we are going to feel if things don't go exactly as we imagined them. Now, I used to be one of those people, especially when I was a baby attorney, that I would fully imagine what the other side was going to say. And I would ruminate extensively, almost to the point of obsession, about any anticipated argument they could ever possibly make. So I was planning for it. I was researching. I was over-preparing. And what I would find would happen is, of course, I'd get to court all amped up and over-prepared, only to realize the other side had 5 million other things to worry about. They didn't have 20 counterpoints prepared. Maybe they had like 1 or 2 really good ones. When I over-focused on what potentially could go wrong, I never left room for what could go right. So oftentimes I would argue past the point and then judge would say, hey, you already won. Cool it. You've got this. Stop talking. The same is true for regular relationships or hard conversations with our bosses or people we're in relationships with. We imagine this entire dialogue going forward and we overplan, we overprepare, we obsess, we ruminate. And I would bet 9 times out of 10, that hard conversation, that relationship, none of that dialogue ever even occurs. It all happened in your own head. So you're choosing not to show up because you had an imaginary conversation that it never took place and is likely never going to take place. Is that really a sufficient reason to opt out, to not show up? I doubt it. Here's the other thing I learned from being over-prepared for court and over-prepared for any dialogue or important conversation, is I stopped learning how to think on my feet. When you practice things and you get them scripted and you become robotic about them and they don't go according to plan because you're a human and this is real life, you're less adaptable to change. So if someone goes off script or behaves in a way you didn't anticipate, or something goes wrong, or even something goes right, we don't allow ourselves the room to be adaptable to the situation, which is in and of itself a skill that we learn when we show up and we make ourselves available. We don't know how you will bounce back, recover, adapt, pivot, unless you're given the opportunity to do so on a regular basis. The only way you're going to get that opportunity to do so is to show up and do some things. Why is this so important? Why do I care if you show up? Why do I care if you make yourself available? Why does this even matter? My mission is to instill in you the belief that confident women build legacies. They create them. They build them. They pass them on. They model them for other women, other people. When you opt out, you don't show up or you don't make yourself available, there's no opportunity for you to model the behavior that you want to see in the world. There's no opportunity for you to model the change you want to see in the world. You know how change begins? It begins with you showing up, embracing discomfort, modeling that for the other people around you, and then repeating over and over again. So many of us want to see some amazing changes in this world. We wish that other people would behave a certain way. We wish that certain politicians would say certain things or do certain things. But we fail in our small ways, and sometimes big ways, to show up, to say the things, to do the things, to be the person, to be the change. It's so important that you make yourself available for the sake of being available, but also the ancillary ripple effect of you showing up and showing others how to do it too. So as you work on building your confidence, and we're going to have an amazing confidence challenge on my Facebook page, and if you're on my email list, you'll be getting a really kick-ass workbook that I made for all of you. And I'm just so excited to give it to you all. Super, super excited. You can hear it in my voice. I want all of you to really lean into this work. Where in the equation could you use some work? Is it belief in yourself? Is it that you believe in yourself, but you've been opting out? You've been ghosting your clients. You've been ghosting your family. You've been ghosting your own potential. Is it that you don't even know where to start? Are you telling yourself you're confused? Really think about what part of the equation are you struggling with? Is it capability or availability or a little bit of both? We're going to deep dive into this in a 3-day Facebook Live. I'm going to go live every day on the Facebook page. My Facebook page is Style Coaching with Miss J. You can find me on Facebook, or you can find me on Instagram under Judith Gaton. Get on my email list, though. That's super duper important. You can get on my email list by taking my freestyle course at my website, judithgaton.com. You're just going to sign up for my email list. You'll get access to the free course. Once you're on my email list, you'll have all the specific details about when I'm going live. You'll get access to the workbook and then all the other goodies I regularly give my email subscribers, just because I really love you all so much. And I know that confidence can be daunting, and everyone's telling you to increase your confidence, but not exactly telling you how. So I want you to think of the equation: capability plus availability, and repeating the process. We're going to deep dive, so stay tuned. Again, if you want access to the workbook, I want you to go to judithgaton.com/style course. Sign up for the free style class so you can get on my email list. If you're already on my email list, keep your eyes peeled for your confidence workbook. And then we're going to be going live on my Facebook page, Style Coaching with Miss J, and you'll get all the specific details in your email. All right, so looking forward to it. Miss J out. Thank you for listening to today's episode. To learn more about how to work with me, go to judithgaton.com. Click on the Start Here button to get access to my free personal style class. I give you a quick style win, a confidence boost, and you walk away with the tools to start getting stylish. Who doesn't love that? See you there. Miss J out.